Oké, test, test, test. Oké, test, test, test. Oké, test, test, test. Oké, test. Test. Do, 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 do. If anyone is watching, can you let me know in the chat if you can hear me well and if the screen and stuff is right? Ah, perfect. Can you also are you able to speak or at least chat in the YouTube chat? It's the first time I'm doing this, so I have no idea how it works. Ah, look, perfect. Um, uh, okay, let me share it with some more people. Mm, mm, mm. Okay. Good to see you guys. It's the first time I stream on YouTube, so I have to get used to it a little bit, but I think everything is all right now. I have the normal sound for my MacBook because yeah, it's typically Apple. I have a microphone, a very good one, but it doesn't work when I'm streaming or. But I'm also just a noob on that part. Let me share it on YouTube, on Twitter, and then we can dive into some stuff. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's wait 3 minutes to let some people join. Otherwise, I have to go over it again and again. I'm planning to just talk about Bitcoin. Uh, yeah, the main pairs, and then after that, just basically everything we want. Statistics, questions, uh, anything. So let's already load some statistics because we just had the PPI news. It was pretty good, I think. Go to BTC. Then session stats daily. Uh, mm, I have no idea if YouTube automatically records this as well, a live stream. Otherwise, the first 50 minutes is filled with nonsense. Mm, okay. So let's just get started, and then along the way, more people will join. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm now gonna first discuss Bitcoin a bit. We, since I've been away, we had then we had this range where we I think I left here where we took the range high and then moved down, and then eventually we took out uh, the range low. That was also in a news event, and then we had a very aggressive move up. Everyone super bullish, but oftentimes when you have a liquidity sweep that is this tiny, and especially with the news event, then it's often just created to generate more liquidity because everyone that enters in this news pump will put their stop loss below that low, which creates even more liquidity below. So eventually we saw that price went lower, tapped into this demand right here. And right now we are in this level in a pretty crucial region because if we manage to push through this level right here, I think this is the only level bears truly have to where they can reject price. If they don't do that, then I expect this high to be next, and then I wouldn't be surprised if we revisit the all-time high in the coming months. So what we just had was a pretty important news event, and tomorrow we have another one. But the why it is so important is because we have our monthly low right here on the 1st of September. Let's mark it out, monthly low. So this is a very important low because if we look at the statistics, like like almost every month in the first 14 days, the monthly high or low gets created, just as in the first 1 or 2 days of the week, you often put in your high or low. It's the same with the monthly candles. So since it's now already, what is it? The 10th, we should we should be pretty sure that in the next few days, at least the end of this week, we know that we either have our monthly low on our hands or our monthly high. So that we're pushing up right now is showing a bit of strength because if we take out this low later, then statistics will become pretty bearish. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be an interesting week. And today we had PPI, and tomorrow we have CPI, and then next week we have FOMC. So it's gonna be a pretty wild weeks. The only thing that I like my current view is that we should not push above this 115k. That's the invalidation for bears. If we push above it, then we probably get a bullish week and a bullish month. But the thing right now is that since we took out our our weekly high, which was currently this one, right? No, let's see what is our. We just made a new weekly high in which the statistics have turned bullish. So we have our weekly low at Monday, and as we know, Monday or Tuesday often print the weekly P1. So our weekly P1 is right here on Monday, and then we had our Tuesday high yesterday was there. So we know either one of these has a very high chance to be the weekly pivot. So if we would have taken this out today, this low, then this high became very strong. But right now we did the opposite, in which we took out our high, in which we have now a P1 at Monday and a P2 at Wednesday, which make this a pretty bullish week. Which tells us that more upside for this week is statistically very likely, and that this low is very strong. At least it's not likely to take out this low anymore. The only thing that could stand in the way for that is that we have some news events and that we currently are tapping into some big supply levels because we have from here we started the downtrend. So, and here we didn't took out this liquidity. So this is a liquidity where the liquidity trail started with some imbalances above and a supply above. So if the market makers wanted to grab buy side liquidity before reversing, then it should happen here because now they're tapping into this supply. So this is literally the only level we could get max factory and return back into the range. But it's a bit contradicting with the statistics because statistics will now show that this low is very strong and that the higher prices are very likely. We can look at the weekly pivots right here. Yeah, here we can see weekly pivots, and then the 80% bullish pivot is already at 160k, 16. So that means that this is our weekly P1 according to statistics, most likely right now, and we will make our way through right here. So my bias is bullish. The only thing I am aware of is that if we move above here and don't surpass this supply block and get a deviation back in the range right here, that we potentially have a max fuckery right now, and that this move up is generated to grab buy side liquidity, and that tomorrow with the CPI news, if that becomes a bearish event, that we still get our move down. But that will be like max fuckery. But overall, based on statistics, we should see higher prices. We can look at that now with the, if we take a look at the weekly statistics. Um, I see a question. Do you know all of these statistics on the top of your head? No. I wish I did that. But like you can see now on your screen, I have the statistics here. I just by now know a bit the dates. Like Monday, Tuesday are very likely to put in a pivot. The other days are less likely. Which hours are more likely? So yeah, I know a bit what the statistics will present, but I can't know that on the top of my head. Like what we see here, if we just take statistics with it, let me actually paste this on the screen so it becomes a bit easier to share it. And we can see that right here. So as I just said, this is our, let's see, where's Monday? This is our weekly P1. And right now, this is our current weekly P2, but that can change any moment right now. But then we see low on time statistic, low P1 flip risk. 13% of the weeks took out the weekly P1. So let's actually make that. This is our P1. And then on distance statistics, 33% of the weeks took out the weekly P1. So that would mean that if we look at this move from low to high, then in one out of the three cases, we would reverse that whole move and take out that low. So yeah, 1 out of 3, it's not very low, but it's unlikely. It's more likely that we keep that low intact. And then how likely is that P2 is in? Unlikely. P2 is in 84% of the weeks from a new P2 after Wednesday. So we know that Wednesday is a very unlikely day to put in a P2. That's much more likely to put it in either Friday or on a Sunday. So that we put in the weekly high today is very, very unlikely. And then if we look at distance statistics, how likely is that this is the move we have? Very unlikely. 100% of the weeks make a bigger move as we currently have. So that's very interesting because that means that there's a lot of upside and that for now, based on statistics, this low is very strong and higher prices are very, very likely. So it seems like we have a bullish week. Normally, I would be very confident in it. The only thing right now that could hold us back is that we have CPI tomorrow. And I have no idea. I don't claim to be a economic expert or anything. So I have no idea what the news will be. But I believe that the market makers already know what that news is. So if that is a bad, if it will be bearish news event, then this move could be max manipulation to reverse price. But yeah, that's very unlikely in my opinion. Let's just mark out some demand that had just been created. And then, as I just said, I am bullish, so I'm looking for longs on Bitcoin and other coins. The only level that can reject us still is this little supply block that created this imbalance and then the downward structure. Above that, we basically have only liquidity. So if market makers wanted to have a max trickery, then we could tap into this supply. If we get a local distribution and then accept back in the range, then this could be a local PO3. And then I would look to open hedge shorts for lower. But for now, nothing points at weakness. Structure is up. We have created demand right here. So yeah, it makes no sense to fade the move. Also because statistics are very bullish. You can also look at the daily statistics. See what they tell. Because I shared it in the group already this morning that yeah, also the daily statistics will look good. So let's have a look at the daily stats right here. So daily P1, hour 1. So as we know, pivots always get formed early in the day, early in the week, early in the month. So this morning at hour 1, we had a move down and then we moved up. So this was already at hour 1 a pretty good pivot based on time. And right now we are also moving quite far away, which means that from a distance perspective, it also becomes a stronger pivot. Because the more you move up, the more energy it takes to get a full reversal. So then you can use statistics and calculations to see how often does it happen that you get a move up this far and then get a full reversal. So if we look at the statistics for that, time 17% of the days took out the daily low, so pretty low. And then on distance 18%, so also pretty low. 17% right now, updated. And then how likely is that P2 is in? That can give us a great indication if the move is already exhausted or that we can expect more upside today. Because we have New York Open in 10 minutes, so that will be interesting. And we see that 91% of the days form a new P2 after 1 o'clock. So that indicates that it's pretty likely that this is not the high for the day, but that we make a new high and then maybe form the daily high. And based on distance statistics, 77% of the days move further. So that's also indicating that there's more upside ahead. So basically daily shows more upside, weekly shows more upside. Structure is up, our weekly low is strong. So for Bitcoin, the picture looks pretty bullish. Only thing that can hold it back is if we get a bad CPI print tomorrow. But yeah, overall this is looking strong. And as said, if we get above this local supply, then there's nothing holding it back because this is all liquidity. This is all liquidity. So then I expect us to get a pretty quick move into 120k again. Let's see what the view is on USDT, the dominance. We had this Model 1 distribution with the technical target being the range lows right here. And internally we formed some form of potential accumulation right here, but that one failed. And we created supply, so I expect the range lows to be next. And then we have to see what forms, because we are in a bigger range right here with some demand at the range lows. So yeah, always if you reach the technical target, you can look for accumulation models. But overall this looks pretty weak. But yeah, I'm gonna set an alert at the range low, because we are leaving some liquidity. We have some weekend liquidity above us, and this is also some local liquidity. So worth looking what happens at the range lows here, but overall this yeah, is showing a bearish behavior. So that's also good. Then what is ETH doing? ETH is moving up. We had some very, very choppy price action on ETH since when was it? 26th of August. where we formed a model 1 with a low, a low, a low. This is a very strong invalidation because it's part of the model 1 accumulation, so invalidation based on that, and it is also our monthly low. So also for ETH, if we wanted to have a bullish month, you don't want to take out this low, and that is also why I scaled into longs together with the group yesterday, which are now doing pretty well. Let's see. This was the long invalidation below that low, entered right there. And then the first target is this local range high. But yeah, ultimately, I think if it starts running, that we can make our way back to that range high. So that's a pretty nice move. And then I also want to say a little bit why I entered yesterday, because this was all chop. I was not interested to get into any position right here because yeah, this is a mega chop. Here we had a model 1. So here I was interested in longs, especially on this liquidity sweep. But after here we got some mega chop. Yeah, I was not that interested anymore. But I was watching the order flow right here. And a lot of people look at this and they interpret it very wrong. So I don't advise to pay too much attention to this kind of things, because a lot of people yeah, get influenced by it, but not in a good way. But why I was interested is because okay, so let's see, can I put that away? No. Okay, look. Yesterday we had, so that's very shit. Why can't I ignore this? Look there. We had this move up on ETH right here, and then you see that open interest is not doing that much, but open interest shows that if there's a lot of positioning or not. So often when there's a lot of positioning, you know that something is gonna happen. And what we saw that was that we got a move down yesterday on ETH, sweeping some liquidity here, and we had some good liquidity resting here. So at that point, I was um, watching it here, but there was nothing really interesting until I saw that we had that move down right here. And at that point, open interest started to move up rapidly, which means that either people are bottom shorting it, or a big player is positioning themselves in longs. Either way, that's often a pretty good sign. And we saw that spot started to diverge from perps. So I knew uh, someone is positioning themselves pretty heavily. And that's when I like to enter, because especially if it's at a big liquidity level, either when you take out important highs right here, or when you take out important lows, as we did yesterday. And we see that these were likely people that started to bottom short ETH because they became impatient with their longs, and out of fear or because they were angry, they started to short. And right now that we are moving up, you see that open interest is dying down again, which likely shows that the people that were short have been wiped out of their positions. So yeah, those people are wrecked. But we see that spot is diverging from perps, which is usually a good sign. You want spot be involved with within the market. So that was a reason why I first was not interested in getting into any positions, but then I was like, yeah, I want to be in the market, because if we start to pump, then getting an entry can become pretty hard. So I'm right now in that position, expecting the range highs to be next, or we have to get some scammy price action. We just took some liquidity here. So now we have to see if we can maintain. Here we have some demand. I would say that if we want to stay bullish, we should not get below this demand zone, because below that we only have liquidity right here. So setting an alert there. I want to see what price does if we retrace into that level. because below this demand we can see that this is only liquidity, and then it's very likely that we take out this liquidity as well. So let's see, New York will open in a bit. But yeah, for now that looks good. Bitcoin looks pretty good. This looks ready for lower. Let's look at Torch. I was looking for this long on Torch earlier today, but right now the setup is gone because we already took liquidity here. At least we had some local liquidity here, and right now we already took that, so there's not a good return to zone for me to get into a position. Yeah, it still can go higher, but there's not a setup, so not interested anymore. I was interested in potential hedge short on Ripple, because this was our Monday's high. Here we deviated Monday's high and we left some supply behind, and we now tapped into it. So I was looking for a move into this level and then potentially get into a hedge short to target all this liquidity in case we get a bearish outcome for the week with news for tomorrow, for example. But I have to see if we have a, yeah. I don't like the way we come into this level. There's no structure to confirm anything, so I'm not gonna touch this. Then looking at Sol, uh, yeah, it's super strong. This is a big levels of supply I'm looking at, but yeah, I'm not in any longs. I was looking for potential shorts yesterday, with Tuesday being our potential weekly high. So we got that move down, and I was interested to see a move back up, breaker structure, and then short it on the breaker structure with the invalidation being Tuesday's high. But we never got that, and right now we have made new highs on Wednesday. So also for Solana, it is very likely that we have a bullish week in which the weekly P1 is very strong. Let's see what P1 is. Yeah, right here. So it's very likely that this low will hold and that we have a bullish week. So then we can look at pivot zones for the week. And this is where statistics are always help me a lot, because when I was less experienced, I was like, oh, we deviated the highs, I'm gonna look for shorts. And then I was just revenge trading. Each high was I was shorting it. But right now I know we have our P1 at Monday. Yesterday there was potential short because we took out the range high, had a pretty good high at Tuesday. So then I know, okay, this could become a strong weekly high. But right now we have taken it out, which tells me that this is a strong low. This is a weak high, which likely gets taken out later. So then I'm not gonna short this. I'm not gonna touch it at all. And I'm actually just gonna look at potential longs or wait for later in the week when the move is exhausted. But right now we can also see that we are just touching the 80% bullish confidence target. So it's likely that we will see higher prices than this. So not gonna touch any shorts on this. So that's mainly the plan. Just gonna let ETH run and look for longs on other pairs. Can have a look at some stats what they show for if it wants to load. Yeah, like here weekly. So these are the main pairs I have, which are Doge, Sol, Ripple, Sui, Bitcoin, and ETH. And then here we can quickly see, based on distance and time, how big of a flip risk there is, and then how much more distance they usually make in a week. And right now we see that the flip risk on, for example, Dodge is 13%, while 87% of the weeks make a bigger move. And on the other coins, we see that the flip risks are also pretty low, while the percentage which more distance is very high, which tells that on those coins, we can look what is the weekly P1. And for Dodge, for example, it's this low right here. So then we know that's a very strong inflation for the weekly bullish bias. And that if we have a bullish week, then we will see higher prices as we currently have. So then you can look where do I see potential setups. One I had was right here for model 2, but we already took out this liquidity, so I'm not interested in that anymore. And then we can look at other levels. I see some demand right here. If we can, there's some liquidity below it. I'm just gonna keep my an alert here because I like this daily low. So maybe if we come into it here, take some liquidity, break structure, that I'm still gonna enter a long. Let's see, the RR is not the best. Yeah, I will monitor it. So yeah, that are the main pairs. Now, what do you guys have on the radar or want to have uh, want to ask me or want to know the statistics for a certain coin or yes, whatever. The New York has opened. Not that much happening, it seems. Mm. Sui, still like to get into longs on Sui, but yeah, locally not seeing anything. So here we have quite a lot of liquidity building up. So I would love to get a move there and then create like a model 2, but I'm not sure we will get it. Right, if we zoom in, not seeing that much to act on. Let's see for Dodge. Yeah, Dodge just looked at. Looking for just an alert there. Hype, super strong. But yeah, I also said it in the mastermind group. I want to short this at a certain moment. I need to have my triggers, but I have the same feeling with hype as with Luna, that sooner or later this is gonna give a massive crash. Something is not right with that coin. Um, Shiba, I missed an entry on this one, unfortunately. Let me know if there are any questions or else. I just look at some charts, but this one is building up some nice liquidity below. So maybe if we continue to do that and take out the high right there, can look for some shorts back to this level. And then I'm interested in longs again. So let's see how that develops. Uh, Oh my god. Why TradingView hates me for my alerts never alert me, so they don't do their job. But this perfectly tapped into that local demand is now sending. Fucking hell. Look at that perfect tap. Oh my god. Uh, 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 where could have move down was very aggressive, so getting entry would have been not the best. Mm, 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 mm. I'm gonna put an alert if we're now tapping into that supply. So and we are not breaking structure, so could still get something like this. Gonna move here and then look for entries because this return to zone is super nice. Bonk, super strong. KDA. Mm, someone asked me to chart this. It looked very interesting. With like a local model 1 and now a big range. The only thing that's sketchy, which would make it much better if it did take out this low. Right now we have a low. This one did not take it out, so this is a slightly higher low. And here it's exactly the same where you have another high low. So now you have, yeah, they're just front running the actual sweep, which makes it a bit sketchy. But I'm not sure about the market cap of this. But overall, this looks pretty interesting, so I'm keeping my eye on it. But best case scenario would be to sweep that all the liquidity and then get a reversal. But yeah, chances of that happening is pretty low. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, looking good. If we break back above this level, then I think we get our confirmed breakout to 4,500. And I'm just gonna hold this long and maybe add to the position. Because if this was all the purpose of an accumulation, this whole chop from here and here, and then all this chop caused people, as I just showed with the order flow, to become uber bearish because everyone started to short here at this low actually. So the market makers did another amazing job to just capitulate people by going sideways. So after this long of a consolidation, then I think that this would not be the last move, but that we get a move higher. Um, Bitcoin strong. Yeah, overall things looking good. Um, does someone have a specific question? Else I'm gonna end the stream. Maybe probably gonna do them more often, but at first I thought you could also stream on X, but I couldn't find it, so maybe they deleted it, but thank you. Okay, perfect. Then thanks for tuning in. Uh, not that many people were there, but that will come with time. Then I speak to you guys in the chat because I think both of you are, at least Fisher is in, Solo. Oh, so perfect. Yeah, then I speak to you guys in the chat as well. So things won't change, and I will do them more often. I'm also planning to yeah, record some streams to discuss some mental trading stuff, because that's actually what most people hold them back, and not the technicals. So we'll do that more often. For now, thanks for tuning in, and I speak to you guys. Cheers.